All right, and now we got comments by Mr. Druski,
Whoa.
social media personality. I guess that's what you can call him. I didn't know who this guy was
Okay.
prior to the NBA playoffs last year. You know me, I don't really be on Instagram and TikTok like that. So I guess if you are, he's pretty popular apparently. I didn't know who this guy was until I started seeing Samsung like he was in them Google Samsung commercials where
Hmm.
the NBA was partnering, and he was in them commercials with Giannis and some of these other people. That's the first time I learned who he was. Since then, I know who he is, and I see that he's kind of a pretty popular guy. He makes good money doing what he does as an internet slash social media personality, and he was recently, um, being discussed because he was in a relationship with another popular internet personality. Uh, this chick, Ruby Rose, I guess she's like popular. She's big. She has an OnlyFans. I think she does OnlyFans, and she's big on Instagram and all of this other stuff. But apparently, these two were in a relationship, and I guess internet troll world was relishing in them being in a relationship. People loved every second of it, I think. But apparently, it is not a relationship anymore. They ain't together no more. They are each respectively single. And Druski spoke on his recently new single status, and he said some interesting things that I thought we'd talk about on the channel. So this says Druski gets candid about Ruby Rose breakup. You better have them pockets ready.
Ooh.
Back in June, Ruby Rose revealed that she and Druski had gone their separate ways following a few months of dating. Again, what does dating even mean? Um, she appeared to be going through it at the time, telling interviewers F Love when asked about her favorite love song and declaring that she was single. A few weeks later, Druski was asked about the split at the BET Awards. He opted not to say much. During a recent appearance on the Big Tigger Morning Show, however, the comedian finally opened up about the breakup. Yeah, I'm single, man, he revealed. God blesses you sometimes with situations. It's a learning situation. That's what it's all about. Druski continued explaining that he simply may not have been ready for the relationship and all that it came with. There wasn't nothing bad that happened, he said. We just, she's a beautiful girl. She's doing great in life, man. She's making money. I'm doing the same. I learned that when you got a bad chick, you can't really, when you have a beautiful woman of that caliber, it comes with a lot. And I don't know if I was prepared yet.
Hmm.
Luckily, Drewski sees the breakup as a valuable learning experience and plans to use all of his new insight in future relationships. I learned a lot from it. So I think I'm coming out of that relationship. You better have them pockets ready. He also added, I ain't
Hmm.
saying that's what happened. You just got to be ready because you don't know when you're going to have to be pulling that wallet out. What do you think of Drewski and Ruby was breaking up after months of dating? So there is a link to that, to the audio of that interview in the description of this video via this hot new hip hop article. So if y'all want to hear the audio for that, go ahead and click on the link and you can all listen to that. But I thought that it was interesting that he said you better have your pockets ready, but right before immediately saying, I'm not saying it was about that, but then went on to continue to say you better be financially equipped to deal with the situation.
Yes.
So I thought that this was interesting, ongoing rhetoric with respect to this modern dating setup and all of this talk about fiscal capabilities and money and economic lasting power and all of that good stuff. What did you think of what Drewski had to say about his experience being with Ruby Rose and how what he learned from this is you better have them pockets ready?
I agree. I think he learned a very valuable lesson with this situation. Now, and this is coming from not the Druski plateau or the Ruby Rose plateau. This is just everyday life plateau. If
Right.
you plan on having an old lady, you need to be able to afford her. Before I used to kick and scream on that. And you know what I'm saying? Let's make no, hey, let's make it work. You know what I'm saying? We both headed in the same direction. Let's build together. All that stuff going. I said those things as a young man. Now what I really have gathered is you need to be able to afford her. And that's just for the everyday woman. If y'all at the same job and y'all making around the same amount, You need to be able to afford her. And what I mean by that is she needs to be able to not be working and life needs to still be continuing as is. And if you can't afford that, you're going to have problems. The people that I know that have been who got married and stayed married, and it seems to be doing pretty good, they got good money. The people that I know that got married and they're trying to make it work, those are the ones that's on ice or split. So I think overall, as a principle, I think what guys really need to soak into their brain, whether you think it's fair or not, we're men, we don't care. We shouldn't care what's fair or not.
It doesn't exist. There's no such thing as fair.
I know I'm talking
I
to the
don't
wrong
even like the word.
Hey, but there's guys out here hollering foul. Or I shouldn't be able to have to pay for that.
Yeah.
Take the L, bro. This is what comes with the territory now. If you want to be in the league, bro, you need to be able to handle your weight. And your weight is being able to pay for a whole nother human. I ain't saying simping out, guys. Come on, man. Follow me. You need to be able to take care of this situation. Not every woman is worth it, so pick wisely. So I'm not saying that, oh, yeah, I'm going to go out here and grab some mega thoughts and start paying them off, because, Dogon said I need to be able to afford this. That's what I'm saying. If you really want a real relationship from a real woman, a quality woman, you still need to be able to afford her. Even if she's still saying, oh, yeah, I can do this, I can do that, I can still 50-50. You need to be able to afford her. So with all of that stuff being said, Druski dealing with Ruby Rose of all people. Now, mind you, I don't even know who this woman is like that. I just hear the name. I see it circulating. I'll see her like, hey, whoever this is caked up. What's going on here? Oh, that's Ruby Rose. I'm like, oh, okay. That's the name I keep hearing. I don't know who this is. So everybody sees Druski. Everybody see his build. I'm not knocking on the guy. But everybody thought this was hilarious. At least from my perspective, everybody was like, whoa, Druski pulled that. Hey, man, money must be good. You know what I'm saying? So me personally, I already knew this was a comeuppance for her because Druski was getting those Google dollars, doing stuff with NBA, hanging out with Drake, doing everything in between. So it wasn't because he was funny. It wasn't because he was cute. It was because he had a bag. And so once she got close to him and he realized that, hey, man, this girl is costing me money. I'm not saying that's why they broke up, but I'm pretty sure he was realizing that, hey, this is more of an extortion case than love. So I think what he realized is, I mean, look at this woman. Look at her eyes. This ain't nothing but a Brittany Renner going on. So for him to cake up a woman, wife her down, and think that this was going to be something, a good thing he didn't drop a jet with this one. All right. So he got out relatively unscathed, and he got a nice notch on his belt. Everybody could say at least he hit that. But from here on out, man, I'm pretty sure hopefully he did take heed and learn the right kind of lesson and not trick off again with whoever is trying to exploit him for his dollars. But it's a fine line to tote. But I'll just say overall, the message is, brothers, if you want a woman nowadays, we just talked about the economy in the last one, bro. Trust me, they're paying attention too. The ladies, that is. And they look at you as a job opportunity. They don't look for love. I'm not talking about all women. I'm talking about the Ruby Roses. All right, ladies. So I ain't talking about you right now watching the conscious. You're watching the conscious first. Why would you do that? I'm talking about the Ruby Roses of the world. But what you say, JV Wins? Do you agree with Druski here that if you're just out here in the dating market or trying to date a Ruby Rose or an everyday woman, you got to keep them pockets ready? What are your thoughts about this?
In a vacuum, I do agree. I've always contended that in order for a man to be able to successfully date today, he must have three things. Mm-hmm. In my opinion, this is JV Wynn's opinion. Okay, so in my opinion, in order for a man to be able to successfully date today, he should have three things. One is a roof over his head that he pays for, and he's not rooming with people or sharing rent, living with relatives or roommates. He has to have his own roof over his head that he is able to maintain for himself.
Yes.
Two, he must have reliable transportation. You need to have your car. You need to be able to get around. You need to be able to get from point A to point B whenever you want at any given time, no matter what. You
Yeah.
got to have the whip game. You got to have transportation that's reliable. You can't be in and out of Tires Plus or your local mechanic shop because you got to replace an alternator, or you need a new battery all the time, or you need new spark plugs. No, you need to be on point. You need to have your transportation, and you need to be able to afford to maintain your transportation, the maintenance on it, so that it's always in operable condition. The third thing every guy needs is a hefty amount of discretionary income, which means after you've paid all of those bills, after you have paid for the maintenance on that vehicle that you own, after you've paid that mortgage or after you've paid that rent, you are not scraping until you get the next re-up on the paycheck. You still have a decent amount of discretionary income to play around with, and you're not worrying about spending too much here or there. And now you're cash strapped for the next 5 or 6 days until you get your next paycheck. So those to me have always been the three primary qualifications that every guy needs. If you can meet those three qualifications, I think that you can be out here in the world dating without having to worry about literally not having the prerequisites needed to be successful. Like literally. So from that standpoint, needing to have your package ready does make sense. However, here's what I will say. There is a such I do believe that there is a such thing as vagina inflation. Um,
Yeah.
we just got finished talking about economic inflation with the
That's
last
right.
topic.
Yes.
There's also a such thing as vagina inflation.
Yes. Yes.
And vagina inflation operates very much in the same way that economic inflation does.
Indeed.
So, so let's talk about economic inflation. Economic inflation is when the cost of goods and services uh, far exceeds the rate at which people earn a living. So, in other words, the rate at which people earn a living has not risen commensurately with the cost of goods and services.
Mhm.
That's when you get inflation. A bag of potato chips used to cost $2. You used to make $2 an hour. Now a bag of potato chips costs $5, and you're only making $2.50 an hour. That's what inflate. That's kind of the bare bones, explanation for inflation. Vagina inflation operates very much in the same manner. A woman who used to be a 6 or better 10 years ago
Hmm.
used to operate on those three qualifiers. Now in 2024, like, okay, what are we in 2024? So I would say in 2014, a guy could have discretionary income, a roof over his head, and reliable transportation that he can readily afford, and he can bag himself reliably a 6 or better without having to worry about issues or problems or any sorts of other entanglements. 10 years later in 2024, the price tag has gone up. So now you need more than those three things. You need more than that. And for an individual like Druski to say you better have them pockets ready, to me, those comments speak to his belief that at the time that he was dealing with this chick, financially, he was not equipped. That's what that says to me. Is that not what that says to you?
Yeah.
That's what it sounds like to me. So I looked up their respective net worths. According to the latest information that I was able to find on the interwebs, as of 2024, Ruby Rose has a net worth of $4 million. Druski, as of 2024, has a net worth of $5 million.
Hmm.
Now, I am not a mathematician, but last time I checked, five is a bigger number than four.
Mhm.
So he out earns her in terms of net worth. $5 million to $4 million. He has a $1 million net worth greater than her. His net worth is $1 million greater than hers. Yet he still was of the belief that financially he was not prepared for what came along with being with a woman of that caliber,
Mhm.
in that world, in the
Mhm.
Instagram model, hip hop, NBA, NFL world, where
Mhm.
essentially you're paying for women.
Yes.
So, despite the fact that he has a net worth of $1 million more than her, he nevertheless felt as though he was not prepared to financially bring what he needed to bring to the table in order to sustain himself, juxtaposed to being with her. And that is nothing but vagina inflation to me. Because if you're worth $1 million more than her, how far up, how much has the price on that increased to the point where that's now no longer enough, where it no longer suffices? So I think all guys need to take heed of this. I still believe at the end of the day that those are the three main things that you need. But very much like you suggested, I do think that there is a such thing as vagina inflation. And I think that the price tag for women 10 years ago is not the price tag for women today.
Hell no.
Whether she's whether she is Ruby Rose or whether she works at a cash register at Walmart, it
Yep.
doesn't matter.
Yep.
It is still the same. The price has the price of these chicks has risen in a manner that is not commensurate with the way that these dudes are bringing in money, which is why a lot of these chicks are out here sharing the same guys, because the percentage of men whose incomes have been able to rise commensurate with the cost of vagina is a very small percentage of the overall population.
Mm-hmm.
And we've touched on this channel before. This is why a lot of these women deal with guys who have multiple options, dudes who step out. These guys got women here, women there. You know, it didn't work out because he was dealing with other women. It's because you guys are sharing the same men.
Right.
You're sharing the same men because it's a small percentage of guys whose incomes have been able to rise commensurate with the cost of vagina. Vagina has inflated just like regular economic inflation is taking place. It's the same principle. Literally, it's the same bell curve. It behaves in the same way. So, you know, I don't really have a solution for this other than, hey, man, listen, guys, be patient. You know, you got to play a long game. If you're not somebody who comes into money quick because you're a pro athlete or you're an entertainer, and you're doing it the traditional route, schooling, apprenticeships, certificates, licensees, you know, you're trying to do it the brick and mortar way, you're playing a long game. In all likelihood, you're probably going to come into the most money you've ever earned when you're in your mid 40s, probably not mid to late 40s, even early 50s. And if you're not getting with a woman earlier in life, you know, maybe you meet a chick in high school or you meet her in college and y'all are in the same place. And so you truly can build something together. If you're not doing that and you're getting out here into this dating world post college in your late 20s and into your 30s and you're a single person and you're just out here trying to date, just recognize that you're playing the long game and you're going to have to figure out a way to be able to compete with vagina inflation because the cost of it is rising at a steady pace, and the pace at which you're earning your income, if you're not careful, is going to fall sorely behind. So I would say just keep that in mind. And I think that's what Druski is talking about.
Yeah, I agree, bro. And I say, as far as women are concerned, like the reason why, and now, ladies, you know, and gentlemen, all right, I'm not sitting here saying that women are gold diggers and you know they
Correct.
can't. They
Yeah,
can't
yeah,
do that. Yeah, no,
yeah.
I'm cleaning
You're
up.
absolutely. Yeah, yeah.
Go
No,
ahead, go
no.
ahead.
You're absolutely right. I'm gonna let you finish, but let me. I cannot stress that enough.
Mm-hmm.
I like these points are not saying women are only about money.
Correct.
Women are gold digging this and women are
Correct.
chasing bags and all they
Right.
care about is money. That's not the point
Correct.
because that's not what I'm saying. What
Right.
I'm saying is there is always a rise in the price of goods and services,
Mm-hmm.
period. It just is what it is. It's the natural ebb and flow of life. It just is what it is. Like Fat Joe said, yesterday's price is not today's price.
Hmm.
That's literally what this is. So you don't necessarily have to be a gold digger per se.
Right.
It's just everything costs more now.
Right.
So like if a guy is gonna take you out, you know, it's funny. We touched on Cheesecake Factory. Remember that viral thing going on several
Yeah.
months ago where the chick was disappointed because the dude was taking her out on a date to the Cheesecake Factory, and
Mm-hmm.
so there was it created this whole thing about people debating back and forth on the internet and social media. What is the relative worth of a date at the Cheesecake Factory?
Mm-hmm.
10 years ago, a
That was
date at the
legit.
Cheesecake Factory meant something.
That was legit, bro. Olive Garden meant something back then.
like that's the point that I'm trying to make here. 10 years ago, a date at the Cheesecake Factory meant something.
Boy, it did.
Now, you might as now, depending on who you talk to, taking somebody to the Cheesecake Factory for a date is no different than going to Applebee's.
Real
Now,
talk.
granted, you'll have some women who are wholesome out there and who are grounded and who are like, I don't mind if we go to a coffee for our first date or go to
Correct.
Cheesecake Factory.
Yes.
Salute to y'all women out there.
Salute
I
to y'all.
respect you and I appreciate you.
100.
But nevertheless, inflation is real. Vagina inflation is a real thing.
Yeah.
It just is. And 10 years ago, the woman who would have been impressed by a date at the Cheesecake Factory is now looking at you saying, is this it?
Yep.
And that's not calling her a gold digger. It's just saying everything goes up.
Right.
Okay. Groceries go up, gas goes up, car maintenance goes up, car insurance goes up, mortgages go up, rent goes up, women go up too.
Yes.
And that's not being disparaging. It's just saying everything goes up.
Correct. And so yeah, I agree with that. So again, not to say that women are gold diggers, and not to say that women are something to be commodified with money. What the point I'm trying to stress here is that women historically, I would say, always look for security. They look for security. Women are always, they're all over the internet saying, we need to be protected by men. We need to be protected by men. Protection by men is more than physical. So it's physical, it's mental, and it's financial now. So the game has been rigged, guys, to where they got men out here working instead of being warriors. So the new form of security and overhead means money. The game got shifted. So westernized culture, this way of labor and employment has shifted things from survival of physical nature, from warfare and other things, to working. Do you have enough money to make sure that I'm secure? Do you have enough money to make sure I can eat later? Do you have enough money to make sure that there's a roof over my head and a child's head? So whenever they're talking to a man, they're evaluating how much you can keep them secure. The game has changed to now that you keeping a woman secure means you also have to have money, because it's a money game out here. What you going to do? Not make money? So women are going, hey, the security rules have changed. So we've upped it to, hey, and make sure that I'm safe. You know, just look at it like real caveman stuff. And that you have to make sure that you have a cave to take your woman to, away from the saber-tooths, away from the other clowns outside. You have to make sure that you have her protected. But now that cave costs $1,200 a month, $1,500 a month, $2,200 a month. You can't just walk into a cave anymore. You used to be able to walk into a cave. If this guy wasn't enough brute strength for you, you can whoop his ass, kick him out, and then take his woman and have your woman. Can't do that nowadays. You have to financially do that now. So the game has shifted. So women are seeking security from men. And now the new security is finances. Are you educated? Like you said, do you have your own car? Can you take me around? Do you have a house that you can take me to? Or do you have a roommate? That's not secure to me. He could be a weirdo. So they're looking for security. So women are, so that's why they say, protect us. We need protection. All that stuff is more than physical, guys. So since the game has shifted, since Druski only makes $5 million, or has $5 million net worth, and she has $4 million, when you do the percentages, he ain't got that much more than her. So he's just making, like, if this is every day and me and her worked at the same job, I'm just making $2K more a month. $2K more a check or whatever, or a year or whatever. I'm not making that much more than her. So she has a lifestyle already for $4 million. She picked Druski so she can live a $4 million lifestyle for free. He can't afford that. A ball player making $25 million can a year, not his net worth. He's making $25 million a year. He can afford a Ruby Rose. So her security has been heightened due to her level of income. So she needs more security. She needs $4 million worth of security. That's a hell of an insurance policy, boy. You're going to have to pay for that. and $1 million, $1 million net worth ain't enough to take care of that. So he was starting to feel the burn. Golly, she want a Birkin bag too. I didn't even know how much Birkins cost. One thing's $200,000. And I'm pretty sure he did something like that where he dropped $50K. Turned around again, dropped another 60. Hey man, I'm getting these checks, but I ain't made out of money. So my whole thing is that guys, so from my opening statement, translating over security is actually money. When you're making just a little bit more than your woman, she knows it. She feels it. And she wants more. You see what's going on in this economy? So you want more protection financially. So much so people getting so riled up about voting. Hey, I want to make sure that I got more money coming in later. Everybody wants this security. Yeah. So women's security was always in a man. So men have to afford the women on top of the inflation, hence the vagina inflation. So hey guys, so there's only one way we can do this. Or there's two ways. You can complain and make red pill content all day, which is fine. But I'm telling you right now, that's not getting you more money or security.
It's not.
or you can be a man and realize that the world can be against you. You're going to have to pay for her, the child, and then you come last. And so whether you like that or not, that's the name of this game. And the more money you make, the more cachet you got. And last thing I'll say is that if you are a man that makes, let's say, like I said, her net worth is $4 million, and an NBA player, he makes $25 million a year. He can afford that. Not only can he afford that, he can afford another one, and probably two more Ruby Roses. Not the fact that he needs a Ruby Rose, but what I'm saying is he's got the capital to make sure that he's straight out here. So my whole thing is, guys, buckle up. The economy is getting worse. You're going to have to get more creative. So basically look at it like warfare. So you can sit there and cry when your village is getting raided by invaders, which is basically making red pill content. Or you can grab your sword and whoop ass. Basically go out there and make the bag yourself. I choose to go out there and make the bag myself to make sure that I can afford this inflation. So, ladies, I ain't calling you gold diggers. Brothers, I ain't calling you simps. And I'm not saying I'm a simp, even though some people might want to say that I is. But I'm telling you right now, the man that can afford a woman's got a woman. And the man that can't is out here hurting. So get your bread up, bro. And yeah, man, Druski learned the hard way and the expensive way, I'm sure. So he better get a woman that's net worth of 50K. He'll blow her brain out. Yeah, because at that point, he exceeded her whole year's salary with one bag. But Ruby Rose can get that 50K stipend whenever she decides to open a DM. So he's not blowing her away. So hey, take a step down, afford what you can, bro. You can't afford the premium package, but you damn sure can get the basic. So go for it, Druski. But yeah, man, wild stuff, man. Wild stuff.
Hey, man, vagina inflation is a real thing.
It is, man.
I'm not saying that to be derogatory. You know, I don't care what word you want to use. Vagina inflation, woman inflation, dating inflation, female. I don't give a damn what words you use. It exists. The cost of everything goes up. The cost of everything goes up. Shouts out to all of the ladies out there who are like, I don't really care about that. But at the end of the day, I think that this is just the way of the world, and I don't think that it's unreasonable, because it's no more unreasonable than economic inflation. We don't like it, but we have to deal with it. We got to deal with the rising cost of all goods and services. Everything just costs more.
Yep. And if people like to, tip the scale, in the favor of men because of the double standards that men, got the luxury of having, that comes with a price, bro. And you gotta pay. Yeah, you gotta pay, bro. Yeah. That's the trade-off. But once you pay, bro, you can have whatever you want. So make sure you got the cash to be the boss, man. So Yeah, man, that's wild stuff.
Yeah, good luck, Druski, man. You're not alone in the fight, bro. Yeah, do it. Be more strategic with who you date and what their tax bracket is. I think you'll be more
Seriously. Yeah,
successful.
bro. Go get a basic.
Yeah,
You'll blow
yeah,
her brains out, bro.
you'll be more successful. If you do. Go date you 100,000 there, and you won't have these problems.
Swear. Jeez.